looking for the far side, and Brendan O'Neill has a goal.
The rain is falling here at Trenton State College as TV3 Sports is proud to present the Group 3 State Championship in boys soccer. Tonight, the Lacey Township Lions take on the Scotch Plains-Fanwood Raiders. Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Matola. Once again, welcome to our coverage of the Group 3 State Championship. Working with me tonight is John Marcy. And, John, when I was taking a look at this game today, it reminded me of the biblical story of David and Goliath. This is Lacey's first time in the Group State Championship, but Scotch Plains, their fourth appearance in the last 7 years.
Well, Scotch Plains, very experienced, although they're a very young club. I had the opportunity just to have their last game against Hoboken, and they were a little bit worried. They were playing on the turf for the first time during the year. Hoboken scored first, but from then on it was all Scotch Plains. It was a final 6-1, and you could see the class of the team. There was a little rough play in the second half, and they were much more able to handle it than Hoboken. They keep the ball on the ground. They do those little nice things. Lacey Township, as you say, they're the David, and they're looking to do the blue collar work, just hard work without the talent.
As you can see in our opening shot this evening, it is raining here at Trenton State College. The field is very wet. John, how much will field conditions factor into this game?
At first, I thought they were going to factor a lot, but the more I look at the field and the more I watch the players working out, I don't think it's going to have a big factor. We did a state championship here several years ago in the rain, and there was a lot of beautiful one-to-one play. At first, I was going to say it favors Lacey, but right now, I think it just might even things up and make it a very close match.
All season long, Lacey Township has been relying on Jim Delapietro for their offensive spark, and they're going to need him here tonight.
Well, Jim's got, I believe it's 14 or 17 goals this year. He's got the assists. He does up front what you want a player to do. He knows how to put the ball in the net. He gets a lot of assists, and when he gets a lot of assists, that means he distributes the ball well. I think Lacey looks an awful lot for them, for Delapietro to really do the job.
Now, on the other hand, Scotch Plains looks to their big scorer, and tell us a little bit about him.
Well, Eric Urano's a little bit different. He's only a sophomore, but yet coming off the bench of all places, 19 goals, and he's only a sophomore. But this is the key to this Scotch Plains team. Tom Bresnitsky is very proud of this. Last year, they almost did it. In a lot of areas, they almost made the county finals. They almost did this. They almost did that. This year, the almost is out of the way, and here they are in the final. They're one of the top-rated teams in the state, and, of course, they're right up there in TV3, too. So I think Eric's play up front is only part of this team. This team is a team like Westfield talked last week of day-to-day heroes. This is a team that anybody can do it.
So there it is. The stage is set. The Group 3 State Championship coming your way right after this.
Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Albert, and when I want to find out what's going on in the local sports scene, I tune in to TV3.
Taxes, the economy, the environment, and our schools. I'm Steve Adebato. These are just a few of the issues examined each week on Caucus, New Jersey, the state's premier news and public affairs program. Tune in for in-depth, thoughtful analysis of how current issues and long-term trends affect all of us in the Garden State. You can't afford to miss the next Caucus, New Jersey. We ask the questions that you want answered.
Fridays at 6 o'clock on Suburban Cablevision's TV3.
Suburban Cablevision's TV3 Community Channel, committed to excellence in programming and serving suburban's communities. TV3 has won 30 National ACE Awards, the cable industry's highest award, more than any other cable system in the country. Turn us in and see why we are a leader. Suburban Cablevision TV 3. Welcome back to Trenton State College. Along with John Marcy, I'm Rob Matola. We're set to bring you the Group 3 Boys Soccer State Championship. But let's take a look at how both of these two teams got here. First of all, there's Lacey's Road. They defeated Ocean City, Triton Regional, Mainland Regional, and Cumberland. In North Brunswick, that 4-3 game, John, was a shootout victory for Lacey. They won the shootout 5-3 on penalty kicks.
Not the best way from a player's standpoint to win a game, but it has to be decided this time of the year.
Scotch Plains, on the other hand, a little bit of an easier road. Mount Olive, Par Hills, West Morris, and a big victory over Hoboken, a 6-1 win in the Group 3 semis.
Boy, and in that semifinal, they were just superlative. They were down 1-0, and then they came back, and once they settled down and got used to that AstroTurf, they were just unbeatable. They scored a goal with 5 seconds left in the game.
The gentleman there with the blue hat and the gray windbreaker is Ed Gratian in his 11th year at Lacey. 121, 81, and 12. All right, let's check the Lacey starting lineup for this ball game. Up front, they go with Jacobs, Della Pietro, who we highlighted in the open, and Kerrigan. In the midfield spot, Pierce, Marshall, and Santoro. Back defending, Wall, McLaughlin, Manger, and Fiore. And in the nets, of course, John Capodici. Capodici with a great goals against average, and there you can see he's also got 7 shutouts on the 91 campaign. For Scotch Plains, up front they will Corey Berlinski, 2 very powerful scorers. In the midfield, Reza, Winokur, Klein, and D.G. Lewis. Defensively, Dogra, Alchus, Marcavecchio, and Joy. And in the nets, the Raiders this evening, their outstanding junior goaltender, Bracky Reyes. Bracky has 12 shutouts on the year. He's given up 11 goals. On a whole, Scotch Plains has scored 81 goals, and they've given up 13.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. 21 games.
If you care, he's wearing a black armband. That is in memory of their striker or stopper who was lost, Shima Wexler. Wexler passed away earlier in the season, John, and that was just a horrible tragedy that they've overcome, though.
That they have. I talked to Tom Brzezinski earlier in the season, and they've more or less dedicated this season to it.
We're underway. Scotch Plains sends a long ball out of bounds, and that'll be a goal kick.
Seems almost as we hear the sky seemed to open up, and it started to rain hard, and you saw that ball when it bounced. It really skipped across the AstroTurf. So, in fact, what we talked about in the open has changed suddenly with this weather. It's going to be tough for the defenders and the goalkeepers especially.
The rain is still falling here rather heavily. It's been raining all day. Scotch Plains now working. That is D.G. Lewis who kicks ahead. Avi Horeb now deep into the corner. Horeb with a nice little move. Looking for someone to cross it to. He crosses it to Winokur, but it's kicked away. Scotch Plains still working at the top of the box. Now at midfield, Sean Jacobs. And this ball will be played back to the box to Bracky Reyes.
Bracky Reyes didn't miss that ball. He came all the way out. He had to make sure that ball went into the penalty area.
We're just underway here in the Group 3 state. And Scotch Plains-Fanwood, 38-36 in the first half. Ball played now into Lacey's end, and the keeper's going to come out for it.
And again, that ball skips on that high pass. Scotch Plains on their first sequence brought the ball in the right side. They worked their wings so nicely on the give and goes, and they work it and they spread it to the wings, spread the defense out, and then they suddenly bring the ball to the middle. Hoboken wasn't able to deal with it at all.
That ball goes out of bounds. Throw in for the Lions. It's Winokur down the sideline. Kicks it ahead to Reza. Reza looking for someone. He's still racing down the sideline. Crosses it. Horev comes out, tried to get a foot at it, but a nice job.
Yes, it was.
Capodici comes out with a nice save.
But again, two sequences for Scotch Plains. One, they bring it down the right wing. One, they bring it down the left wing. They work the wings so nicely.
The Lions now working at midfield, crosses into Scotch Plains zone. Sean Jacobs has been controlling things, number 16. Long ball, headed away.
On those long passes, Rob, the defense has to get to it, take a skip, and there's a good chance of it getting by him.
Lewis now trying for Scotch Plains. Ball's cleared out back toward midfield again. Sean Jacobs is there for the Lions. Amit Dogra over to Eric Klein. Klein now charging through the middle. Klein into the box.
Oh,
The ball is still loose. Capodici comes out to get it. Klein headed at midfield. Santoro kicks ahead for the Lions.
And there's field conditions.
And Mike Marcavecchio plays it back to Bracky Rays.
The amazing thing is, Rob, it rains hard now, but if it stops raining for 5 minutes, those field conditions will improve drastically.
Last night, Tom Bresnitsky said he was down here for the other two Group State Championships. He said at halftime of the Harrison game, it started to pour. The Group 2 State Championship, it got a little colder, and conditions were very icy. As the ball is crossed into the box, shot just goes wide.
That's Scotch Plains all over. They play those wings so beautifully. We commented on it earlier. They spread the defense out. You'll see the ball defender, the cross, the one-time header comes in. What a great shot by Winokur. Winokur got the head on it, but it went just a little bit wide, but he had a wide open goal to get it to.
Ball sent right back in by Scotch Plains. John, you mentioned Winokur before. He's their offensive center midfielder for Scotch Plains. He's got 10 goals and 15 assists on the 91 campaign.
Well, there's your answer right there. And he's only a junior.
D.G. Lewis now charging ahead, but it's cleared away by Rob Fiore. Fiore now pushing ahead along with John Wall. Wall almost tripped, and he drags down Mike Alchis.
The call was made on the trip ahead of the play. Even
Right.
though the man didn't go down, it was enough to take him off the play. You'll see here they come down there, right there, there's the trip. Now you didn't take him down, but you took him off the play, and that's why the call. That second man going down is not the trip.
Senior fullback Rob Fiore will do the honors on the restart. Chipped in toward the box, trailing away. It's cleared away by the defense.
Oh, great opportunity here for the Raiders.
This is Winokur at midfield. Kicks ahead. Craig Manger now kicking it away for the Lions. The ball will go back.
Scotch Plains, we can also look when they have a throw-in deep in the offensive end of the field. They will freely substitute to bring in a thrower that can bring the ball right, even on a wide field like they have here. Have great opportunities.
Winokur again gets the give and go back to him. He's got a shot. Just sails wide. Winokur again with another great chance for Scotch Plains.
And again, what has happened is they've spread the defense. Winokur right here takes the shot, and again, just wide.
So two good chances for Scotch Plains, both of them coming via Josh Winokur. Capodici will take care of the goal kick. Klein handles it at midfield for Scotch Plains. He sends ahead for D.G. Lewis, who's racing down the right sideline.
What a great lead that was, too.
Lewis making a couple moves. He's again looking to cross. He's got Winokur once again in the middle.
And a corner kick.
So Scotch Plains will set up for their first corner kick of the night.
He tried to dummy that ball through to let it go through, but the defender saw it, and the only way to clear it was to take it across the end line for the corner kick.
No score in this Group 3 state championship at the 32-49 mark of the first half. Scotch Plains now setting up for the corner kick. The ball loose in front, but Capodici comes out and makes a beautiful play.
That was a good. Berlinski took that corner kick. I think he had it out a little further than he wanted, but Capodici came right between two attackers and got that ball.
Lewis tries to get by Jacobs. The ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in.
You'll see here Berlinski with the corner kick. It's a very high, and from this angle you can't see, but it comes out very much closer to the 18, and you'll see right between. There was only one attacker there, but he certainly took it right off the attacker's head.
Back to live action. Rob Fiore just booted the ball way past midfield. It looks like we may have an injury down. Trying to see who that is. John Wall was the injured player.
And John Wall will not have to leave the field because the trainer was not beckoned out, so he's going to stay in.
Wall took a foot into the chest, and that's what knocked him down, but he looks to be okay at this point. He is making his way toward the sideline now, though.
I stand corrected. The official said I stopped the clock. I beckoned for the injury, therefore the substitution is going to be mandated.
Clock is stopped, as John said. 31:53 left in the first half. No score in the Group 3 state championship between Lacey and Scotch Plains.
This will be Damian Morris coming in to replace him, but I'm sure we're going to see him back in very, very quickly. Wall, one of their better players.
Damian Morris, a junior midfielder, broke his wrist earlier in the season, but Ed Gratian said he is back and back with a vengeance. He's been playing extremely well off the bench.
Oh, nicely taken by Lacey.
Long lead down toward the left sideline. Jim Delapietro, the ball goes out of bounds.
Jim Delapietro the ball had gone out of touch off him first on his lead, and when he tried to bring it back in, it was already called out.
Throw-in taken by Keith Joy, and it's headed right back to him. Joy kicks out toward midfield, and it's a cross back into Lacey end of things. Winokur again on the charge, leading the offense for Scotch Plains, and the ball's going to be taken by D.G. Lewis. Lewis has been working in that corner quite a bit so far in his first half as he crosses for Berlinski.
Nice lead.
Klein into the box. The ball is loose, and then it's cleared away nicely. Still in a bit of trouble, but Fiore kicks it away from the box. Big collision at the 40.
Mike Marcavecchio really came up strong in that play.
I'm using the football yard markers here, John. That was a 40, a good tackle.
That's perfectly all right. But Marcavecchio, the ball play, he played it very nicely on the skip.
Big collision with Rays, but
it was a good play. It was a good play. That ball was still free, and Rays kind of nonchalanted it a little too much.
Mike Marcavecchio cleared things up for Scotch Plains, and another big collision. Klein was upended by Kevin McLaughlin.
You'll see right here, that's the collision right there. That's a tough one to make, but nevertheless the call made.
Ball booted back out toward midfield now. Dan Kerrigan now with the ball for Lacey. Nice tackle by Lewis. John Wall now returning for Lacey. Coming in for Joe Marshall. Ball Ball goes out of bounds again. Once again, it will be a Lacey Township throwing at midfield.
Making a little money selling umbrellas today.
The weather is not pleasant today here at Trenton State College. As we mentioned before, it's been raining all day. The field is soaking wet.
Although we say about the rain, it's still around 65, 70 degrees. It's quite comfortable temperature-wise.
Scotch Plains clears the ball back. Berlinski was giving chase, but it got kicked back toward midfield, and Lacey will again set up in Scotch Plains end.
Lacey's been having trouble handling that ball that's been skipping on the turf as it approaches the defenders.
Ahead, it's taken by Klein. Klein punches ahead for Lewis. Lewis crosses toward the middle for Berlinski, but it's taken. And kicked out of bounds by Fiore.
Fiore controlled that nicely off his chest. That's a tough ball on that
That's
angle.
what we've been talking about, John. You should have brought some umbrellas. You'd be a millionaire today.
Sets it up. He's got to take a shot.
Towards the top of the box. Klein shooting one, but it'll go wide.
Wait, Klein took the kick. He set it up for his left foot. I thought he was going to go for the right foot. And then when he took the shot, the defender just got his arm out of the way just in the nick of time.
No score yet. We're still in the first half. 27:40 left.
Scoreboard clock here at Trenton State is official.
Down the other way. I am totally clueless.
Klein working at midfield, gets it up to Winokur. Winokur gets the ball right back, but it's cleared away by the Lions. As you can see, it is wet out there. Amit Dogra sends ahead. That ball will go out of touch. It'll be a throw in for the Lions. D.G. Lewis kicks it out of bounds again, a throw in for the Lions. Ed Gratian mentioned, if you didn't catch the open, that his club, the Lacey Township Lions, are a blue-collar team. They may not be as skilled as Scotch Plains, but they're going to give you 110% for the entire length of time that they're out there on the pitch. Push called. Keith Joy will set the restart up for the Raiders. Sent all the way into the Lacey end, and again it will go out of bounds.
And you see as that ball hits the turf, you can see it bringing the water up.
Not a bad crowd on hand here tonight.
Yeah, we were commenting earlier that there weren't that many, but now that the opening whistle is gone, all of a sudden the people are probably been sitting in their cars and underneath.
It's fashionably late, John. Jacob sends ahead. And it's kicked right back down the Lacey end. Berlinski had a chance at that, but defensively, Fiore was right there.
Well, you know, I was looking for him to miss that ball.
Looking for a skip or a bad hop on this wet turf. McLaughlin sends back the header. Lewis battling with John Santoro, and Lewis wins that one.
So far, it seems that the Raiders have had a little bit the better of play. They've played the wings well, but they seem to be playing the field conditions better than the Lions do at this point.
Seen a couple of the Lions on the turf, a little bit more than you've seen the Scotch Plains Raiders, but that could go with their game plan again, as we said.
Yeah.
They give you the 110% and maybe not as skilled, but they're the guys who are going to be on the turf.
Now we not just have the wind, the rain, but the wind is also picked up right now in the favor of the Raiders. It blows from our left to right. You can see that American flag, which is at the far end of the field to our right, and it is really blowing hard. Almost like those summer squalls you get in late August and early September.
Bob Gowan is now in for the Lions, senior midfielder.
And yet the quality of the play, Rob, has not diminished at all. There has been a lot of good short passing on the part of the Scotch-Fanwood. A lot of movement with the ball. You've seen what D.G. Lewis can do down in the corners.
And that is Lewis working in the corner right now, but Kevin McLaughlin sends it out for the Lions. This is Jacobs now with the ball.
And there you can see the wind, how it turned that ball. It was coming upfield, and it was really turned back down.
That'll be a throw-in for the Raiders. Joy will take it. Loses the ball. Must be a little slippery down there, too.
Again, getting a good throw.
Perfilio got tripped up. Klein gets it taken away. Bounces off a couple of chests, and it's sent back in toward the box.
There's an opportunity. Who's going to get to it? And the Lions do.
Knocked out of bounds by Craig Manger. Throwing now for the Raiders. Are sending it up on the far side. D.G. Lewis had a chance to get a foot on it, but it got cleared away. And this is Joy once again now for the Raiders. Sent right back into the box, and Capodici will watch it go out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick.
Very smart idea, the way that ball skips. He knew it was wide of the net. He did have an opportunity to play it, but he decided just to let it go out of touch. Don't misplay it back there.
Sent ahead all the way out to midfield. Joy handles it, and he sends it ahead. Dogra now trying to work it down toward Lewis once again, but this ball's going to go out.
I think Lewis probably did the right thing then, but I don't think you can quit on a ball on a night like this. It's so wet out there that ball, it's going to skip, but if it sticks to the turf, it's going to stop right away because it's so wet, it's going to slow play up quite a bit.
Joe Marshall just came in for John Santora for the Lions. A couple other substitutions for the Lions also. Tony Perfilio now working, but that ball's going to go out of bounds. It'll be another goal kick for the Lions.
Perfilio picked up that goal kick nicely. It was low.
No score yet. It's 0-0, 21-10 mark of the first half. We're here at Trenton State College for the Group 3 State Championship.
Oh, great move.
Great chance here.
Great move by the defense, but it's going to be a Lion throw-in, and that was a good call by the official.
Perfilio came out and tried to make the offensive play.
And here he comes out, and you'll see right here as the defender does, in fact, kick it in to Perfilio. And it was the right call.
Craig Manger on the defensive side of the ball for the Lions that time. Ruano deep into the box, and he gets dumped big.
But again, the Raiders putting on the pressure.
Ruano stops that one off the side of his body. It goes out of bounds. So a lot of play, a lot of time, a lot of minutes logged down here in the Lions' end of the field.
You know, over the years we've talked so many times, Rob, about this AstroTurf versus the natural grass. And certainly today is one of those days where the natural grass is the difference.
Crossed by Lewis, it goes up and over the goal.
So, and you saw the ball boy in the back there, he went down going to just a big splash. You'll see here the shot, it's a soft shot taken. You'll see it as the keeper goes back, it was just kind of floating. It goes down. I don't know if we see it, no, but the ball boy just went after that ball and he almost disappeared into a puddle.
Disappeared in one of the Trenton Lakes here.
Right.
Manger tees it up and he boots it out toward, but it's blocked. Could almost call that a shot on goal. That's close.
That's twice that's happened, and I believe that was Lewis. And if he stays on top of that ball, you're going to catch them You're going to catch them sound asleep on it, and you're going to put one in the net. I believe we caught a number of years ago on TV3 a goal scored that way when it was kicked into a defender and went into the net. I think that was Perfilio, not D.G. Lewis.
This is Ruano, who we highlighted in the beginning. Whitaker now. Ball toward the corner. He was trying to get it to Corey Berlinski.
A good question now. We know the wind is a factor. Is that why Scotch Plains is staying at this end of the field, or is Scotch Plains playing the better game right now? And the only way we're going to find out is when we get to the second half. But if in case the wind is, it's really important that Scotch Plains get a goal or two at this time.
Manger tees it up once again for the Lions. This time Perfilio was nowhere around. Dogra and Bob Gowan exchanged head balls there, and the ball went out of bounds.
I think we're going to have a substitution for the Raiders. Looks like Avi Horov coming into the game.
Joyce sends it ahead, but it goes out of bounds off one of the lines. It'll be a throw-in. Berlinski will take it. He gets it to Horeb. Excuse me, Ruano. Ruano right back to Berlinski, who crosses it. Ball is still loose in the front.
You're going to have a dangerous play here. You're going to have an indirect kick for the Raiders. Ooh, I think he's calling it the other way. Let's see.
It looked like Josh Whitaker got the foot up a little high.
Let's see if it was, in fact, Whitaker. Be honest with you.
It looked like
you're right. As a matter of fact, the referee was right with the call, and I can't argue. First time this year, boy.
Ball now set at midfield. The Lions controlling. It's pushed ahead.
First time they'll admit, I'll put it that way.
Delapetro sends ahead for Marshall, but Scotch Plains takes care of it. Horeb racing down the far sideline. He slows up, and now he hits it toward the middle. Ruano had a shot at it. He was being guarded very tightly. Rob Fiore was back there too, and he kicked that ball out of bounds.
Well, you'll see the ball comes across low here, and as it comes across, the defender, I believe that defender was Rob Fiore, and Fiore, in fact, was the one that crossed it out for the corner kick. But keeping that ball low, it does funny things on this AstroTurf on a night like this.
Looks like Berlinski taking the corner.
It's over.
Ball is loose up in front over Capodici's head, but it's cleared away.
That's worth a few gray hairs to a coach.
Klein now for the Raiders. Offsides call on the Lions, or excuse me, on the Raiders. Manger will tee it up. Sent right back in. As we mentioned before, most of the play so far. Here is Ruano. Tried to get it to Horeb, but Capodici comes out to take care of it.
What a beautiful lead. Ruano just put that ball ahead, and it just went across.
Ball now on the far side. Jacobs trying to get it. Klein trying to get it.
As he was playing the ball, he was also moving off with the elbows.
Scotch Plains now charging on offense once again. Ruano taking off the ball. Now Berlinski takes it right back. Ruano with the ball at the top of the box, but it's knocked away.
Ruano showing nice footwork, nice ball control. And again, the Raiders doing so well working the ball on the outside.
Berlinski now sends toward the middle, looking for Alchis. But it's knocked out of bounds.
The only disadvantage working the ball to the outside is getting it in to get the goal. But if you've got a team that can dig the ball like they do, you're going to put them in the net. What did we say, 81 goals coming in?
81.
that's just under a 4-goal average.
$13:50 left in the first half. Still no score in this Group 3 state championship as the ball goes out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick.
Juan Santero and Dan Kerrigan coming back into the game.
Both Scotch Plains and Lacey substituting at this point. Berlinski just went off the field. T.G. Lewis back on. Ball is played back to Rays. Rays with the kick all the way across midfield. McLaughlin trying for Lacey. Lewis settles the ball for the Raiders, and he gets past Fiore. For Winokur. Winokur with the nice fake, but it gets by. Eric Ruano. Kick nothing but air, unfortunately, for the Raiders.
Wow, he had an absolutely wide open shot, and he fanned on it.
Jacob sends the ball ahead. Alchis sliding for it.
There's going to be a dangerous on that. You're going to see here, the ball was dummied coming through. Lewis comes across. You're going to see here, first that's dummied. And there he goes, and he just, Winokur, I believe that was, just completely fanned on the ball on a wide open net. You had what looked like a 1-0 game.
But it is not 1-0. It's still 0-0 with 12 minutes left in the first half. So far, the Lacey game plan has not been working. They wanted to, the short passing game, but if they couldn't do that, the long ball and try to chip it ahead. But most of the play, as we mentioned twice before, has been in their own end.
And at this point in the game, there's no question in my mind that the Raiders have had the better of play. They've worked the wings well. They've brought the ball to the inside. They certainly had the shots on net.
The ball goes out of bounds. Eric Ruano with a heck of a chase on that one, but he couldn't get to it.
Stand corrected. Not shots on net, but shots at goal.
We'll let you go, John. We'll set that one up again. Fiore with the throw-in for the Lions. Gets it out to Della Pietro, but Della Pietro gets it stolen by Ruano and Lewis. Winokur again in the corner. Ridden off the ball by McLaughlin. So we had a push called on McLaughlin.
And again, what happened? McLaughlin reached around the player as he was reached around Winokur to get it, and it becomes a push or a hold. And this is the second time they've done it. Down here, it's going to be very costly because they had the ball cleared.
Klein now setting up the restart.
And of course, the wind is a factor here. It's not even holding the ball still.
Into the box, up and over.
And that's going to be a corner kick.
That'll set up Scotch Plains' third corner kick.
With this wind, the corner kick is such an advantage at this end of the field.
Eric Klein teeing it up. He's got a bunch of guys in front. He's got Horev, Reza, Ruano, Lewis, and Winokur.
Sort of a wide set up front, but you watch how they converge on the goal as that ball is crossed in.
Here it comes. Capodici comes out, he loses it, but comes back up, picks it up, loses it again, and then regains possession.
And never had full possession. That's why he could take it a second time inside the box. You'll see again the low corner kick taken with the left foot, hoping to get it to come in. Capodici comes out, first control, second control, and here he goes, and now he loses it again, and then he finally controls it 3 times before he finally got the ball. I think we're going to have a clock stoppage here. We might have a caution.
And yellow card to Dan Kerrigan for Lacey. And Kerrigan being replaced by Tom Clark.
Honestly, can't say. I didn't see what the play was because I was still coming back from the monitor on that. And today we have to come back from the monitor as it's set back a little bit off in the booth here to protect it from the weather.
Under 9 minutes to play in the first half of the Group 3 state championship. There is still no score between the Raiders and the Lions.
And for the most part, this first half of play has been the Raiders.
Horev now with the ball into the box. Cleared away. Alchus now sends right back in. And Jacobs clears away for the Lions. Keith Joy now giving chase along with Chris Lawler. No handball called. It looked like the forearm of D.G. Lewis.
Very definitely a handball, but if you look where the official is and where the player was, you can see why that would have been missed.
Down the sideline, it's cleared away.
There's that ball skipping again on that turf.
Back toward midfield, McLaughlin takes it, puts it out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for the Raiders. Rain has somewhat eased up a bit. It is still very windy, though, and the field, as we mentioned before, extremely wet from the precipitation throughout the entire afternoon.
Amazing enough, there's a lot of intensity to this game. There's been a lot of good play. It hasn't taken as much away from the game as I thought it would.
Lewis was battling with Keith Pierce. Pierce, the junior midfielder, kicked that one out of bounds, but must have went off Lewis because Pierce is going to have the throw-in.
Where the ball gets up in the air on the throw-in, it's just like a dying quail.
Jacobs sends ahead. Booted down toward the far sideline. But Scotch Plains regains possession once again.
And the Raiders, as they've done all game long, have controlled that midfield. They've controlled the wings, they've controlled the midfield, and that's why they've had the better of play.
Klein bowled over by Joe Marshall.
You'll see here as he comes, he turns to take the play in. It's right about there. You can see the shoulder come up and they bowl him right over. No question about it. Either a push or a charge is called. Either way, it's going to be a direct kick for the Raiders.
Klein will do the honors on the direct kick.
He might just take the shot here. With the wind at his back, volley ball skips.
We'll see what happens. Doesn't take the shot. He gets it over to Reza, and Reza's shot goes up over the crossbar. Jeff Reza, the senior left midfielder for the Raiders.
Klein moves the ball over to the left. That negates the wall. Reza comes in, takes a shot, but leans back just a little too much. Ball goes up in the air and sails over.
Going to get a push called on Klein. He bumped with Marshall. Other way around.
The other way around. What happened? You're getting these late hits by Lacey behind the play.
Ball stopped by Capodicio. It's open, but it's his goal.
That's no question about that one. No question about that one.
Tony Perfilio picking up the goal. Scotch Plains draws first blood in the Group 3 championship.
And no question about it, the field conditions played a factor on that one, Rob. You can see Capodici had the original save, but that ball skipped, came off his chest, and that's what kept it in play. Here's the shot. There's Capodici making the original save, but it skipped. He comes down, but it looked like Whitaker was in on it, and then Porfilio came back and took the second rebound off Capodici and put it in. Goal scored with 5 minutes and 29 seconds left to go.
That was Perfilio's first goal of the season.
Wow, what a goal.
The sophomore forward had 3 assists coming into this game He picks up his first and probably the biggest of Scotch Plains season so far.
Well, Rob, we knew it was coming. I believe we had a handball. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. They'd been putting the pressure on. The ball again misplayed. The field conditions suddenly playing havoc for the Lacey Township Lions.
This is Delapietro the other way. Keith Joy using a burst of speed to get that ball away from him.
Well, he was back on the play. He came a long way to make that play.
So Perfilio gets the goal. It's 1-0. 4:33 left.
And I'd have to give that goal unassisted because it's after a couple of rebounds.
As John mentioned, the field conditions was a major factor in that goal scoring.
But they both have to deal with the same factor.
That's right. A shoe up and down.
That leather stretches out when they get wet. You'll see as he goes to put, but what happens is the leather does stretch out when it gets wet like that, and oftentimes you'll see that happen.
Scotch Plains once again applying the pressure. Lewis into the box. Perfilio almost had number 2. Reza goes off the post. Horev
What great,
off the side of the goal.
what great pressure by Scotch Plains. They've been doing it all game, but now they're really beginning to zero in on the net.
Perfilio almost picked up number 2 in less than 30 seconds, and Jeff Reza with one right off the post.
There's Reza taking the shot. It hits the post. Of course, it's unbelievable the pressure that's being put on, and that had nothing to do with the field conditions. That was just playing hard play and getting to the ball first.
Klein settles it for the Raiders. Nice little move. He's ridden off the ball.
But he's working hard to get back onto it again. Has Lacey even had a shot on goal yet? As they're going to have a direct kick on the push. I don't believe they've even had a shot on goal.
The closest they came was when their one player had slid into Ray's, and the defense took care of it after that. Jacob sends toward the box, but it's cleared away.
And of course, the Raider defense really hasn't had much to do because the offense has been working so hard today. From that midfield area where you see the TSC on the middle of the field, from that point all the way up, it's the Scotch Plains midfielders and offense have really been doing the work. And the few times that it has come back, Reyes is coming up tough there. He's been very sure-handed. The defense, they've cleared the ball quickly up to the halfbacks. And we mentioned earlier, they've controlled the midfield.
Brackey sends it ahead. Perfilio looking for it at midfield. He sends it ahead for Winokur. Lewis ridden off the ball. That was Marshall. Marshall now pushes ahead. He sends it deep into the corner for Sean Lynch. But Lynch can't keep it in.
And it goes across for the goal kick. 1.5 minutes left in the first half. And a fast-moving first half. Tony Perfilio, the goal scorer, leaving and getting a big hand from the bench.
Ball kicked out toward midfield, and it goes out of bounds once again. Fiore will take the throw in. Ruano loses the ball, but gets it back, and he kicks it down the sideline for Lewis. Lewis looked like he was passing it right to Fiore on that play. Ruano and Lewis have been working hard on this near sideline.
45 seconds, certainly enough time for either team to get one. Winokur with a great opportunity.
Now. He's got the left-footed shot, but it's blocked.
First he looked like he wanted to turn and set it up for the right foot, and then he just said, the heck with it, let's take the shot.
Winokur looked a little unsure of what he wanted to do, as John mentioned, and maybe didn't get a hard shot off like he wanted to. Klein with the shot, but that's blocked by the Lacey defense.
And a good player at this level's got to be able to bang that ball hard with both feet.
Joy now down the sideline.
You got to quickly get it in. There's less than 10 seconds.
Keith Pierce rode him off the ball and went off out of bounds off Pierce. It'll be a throw in. And that is the end of the first half. Sophomore Tony Perfilio with his first goal of the season, and it is the lone goal of the half. Scotch Plains leads it 1-0. We'll be back with some halftime action right after this.
Hello, I'm Pam Dauber. I'd like to tell you about some children who need your help right now. Very young children who are robbed of their childhood by poverty. Children who've had the light of their childhood taken away forever. Not getting the right food and proper nutrition, they're too weak to fight off the disease which attacks them and steals their eyesight. Total irreversible blindness. This condition, known as nutritional blindness, is due to a lack of vitamin A in their diet. In the third world, one child goes blind every minute. The disease begins by taking away their night vision. Imagine how frightening this must be to a child after the sun goes down, searching frantically for comfort in a familiar toy and not finding it. As time goes on, their sight worsens until it's gone completely. For many, it's too late. But for thousands, there's still time. You can send this little miracle to a child who still has a chance. It's the desperately needed megadose of vitamin A, which Helen Keller International distributes. What does it cost to send this miracle capsule? Only $1. Just $1 can save the sight of a little boy or girl. Your gift of $20 can save the sight of as many as 20 children. And if you give that amount every month, you'll help keep more than 200 children from going blind this year. Please call now and say you'll give. These children have no one else to turn to. Please give what you can today. Call the toll-free number and pledge $20 or more to Helen Keller International. You can help keep the light of childhood in their young eyes.
The Group 3 state championship. Scotch Plains Raiders leading at this point 1-0. And this is how we got to this point.
Play comes in, you'll see. First shot is taken right there. I believe it had been Winokur had taken the shot. Capiccio comes out, makes the save, but it skipped, hit him in the chest. He comes out. Second shot is taken.
That was Horev.
Horev, and then finally the third time, you saw it right there. Perfilio, a little bit happy on that.
A little bit happy. The sophomore scoring his first goal of the season. He had 3 assists, but that goal, I'm sure he's going to remember that one for a while. Well, we're at the Group 3 state championship, as we mentioned, but there were quite a few games played recently. And the Parochial A state championship, zip tie. Don Bosco and Notre Dame were co-champs. In the Parochial B state championship, St. Augustine, a 2-1 winner over Pingree. Our engineer, Scott Jasmine, who's not working this evening, very upset about that. He's a graduate of Pingree. But
2 seconds left.
They lost
what
it.
a heartbreak.
The Group 1 state championship, Montgomery and Glenrock. Montgomery coming away with the title. Brutally shared the title last year from the TV3 area in the Group 1 state championship. And the Group 2 state championship from the TV3 area, the Harrison Blue Tide battled Cinnaminson, and they battled to the 0-0 tie. They were also co-champions.
And Harrison, who last time they appeared was 1976. No stranger to state tournament play, certainly, the Harrison Blue Tide. First time they've made it to finals, and they got a share of the title. Our congratulations to Tom Carney and his crew.
Well, we're going to have some football action coming your way. The semifinals of the state playoffs, the North 2 Group 1 semifinal. Brearley will battle Johnson. And you can see that game Saturday, November 30th at 8 p.m. and Sunday, December 1st at 10 a.m. in the second half of our doubleheader. The North 2 Group, your thoughts on
Well, they've controlled 2 areas of the game that are very, very important. I know